What's up guys, and welcome back to another G35 video. So this is going to be a track focused video, but there is a part on the G35 that you guys definitely need to know about if you don't know already. It's a pretty common thing to replace, but if you guys don't know, I'll go ahead and show you guys. So the part that I'm talking about is going to be this coolant bleeder port right here. It is made out of plastic, and as you guys know, heat and plastic do not mix well. Over time, with all the heat cycles, it just makes the plastic brittle, and I definitely wouldn't run that if you're going to be going on the track or if you're going to be driving your car pretty aggressively. That becomes the weak point, and if that breaks, all your coolant gets out, and it does become a nightmare to have to go ahead and bleed everything and buy a new one. So this is the exact same thing, but it is made in aluminum, and I ended up picking one that has a coolant temp sensor port, so I can go ahead and install the new one that I have. So this is going to save you from having a bunch of headaches, and just make sure you have that peace of mind that that piece of plastic over there doesn't break over time. I bought this off of Z1 Motorsports. They have this one that has the coolant temp sensor, so you can go ahead and connect it, and they also have a regular one that has the Phillips head, so you can go ahead and just open it up. So like I mentioned earlier, we are going to be installing this water temp sensor on the G35. I am going to be installing it on the pillar pod I have right here. I have two more openings, so this is going to be taking one of those. So obviously the water temp sensor is going to be for the track. I want to know exactly what temperature my whole cooling system is at. Obviously with the addition of the Coilovers radiator being an all aluminum, it's going to help out with dissipating heat a lot more. Also in the last video, I ended up installing a performance radiator cap, so that's going to help out as well. Another reason for it is because the OEM gauge for the water temp isn't really accurate. It only tells you once it's overheating, the needle will go up. Once the needle's going up, I feel like it's too late for you to know when you were supposed to get off a track. It's kind of a no-brainer, honestly. I should have this on my car if I'm going to be taking it to the track, because it does give a lot of valuable information on the car. So first thing we got to do is take off both of the clamps on each side, so we can go ahead and take off the bleeder port, and then we'll be able to install the new one. Alright guys, so exactly what I was talking about ended up happening to this. I want to go ahead and remove it from the hose. One side came out good and the other side ended up breaking on me. So this was exactly what I was talking about. It ends up breaking on you and you end up losing a bunch of coolant. So it's all fine when it's working, but if it does end up breaking like this, it just goes everywhere. You'll see a bunch of white smoke go up, and then you'll know that this ended up breaking. I'd definitely be pissed off if this had happened when I was driving, but thankfully we're going to be able to go ahead and put the aluminum one in, and then we'll have this out of the car for good. You might be wondering if you do need to bleed your coolant after this. As long as you don't lose too much coolant, I wouldn't really worry about it. It's such a small little leak if you leak anything. I would just put the new one in and then ship it, and then you might need to refill your overflow or maybe refill your coolant a little bit, but you should be good to go. So once again, here is the OEM one that broke, and here is the replacement. You can obviously see how much of the chunk ended up breaking. So like I said, this is going to be a way better upgrade. This is going to help out so much more with having that peace of mind when you're driving the car hard, that this isn't going to be the part to give out. Alright guys, so everything is put together now. I have the two clamps on each side, and I also have the sensor on already. I use a little bit of Teflon tape, so the sensor is good to go. Now I just need to go ahead and connect these leads onto the other ones for the sensor, and then we'll be able to go ahead and plug everything on. So now what we need to do is go ahead and jack up the left side of the car so we can go under and go ahead and pass all the wiring through into the car. So let's go ahead and do that. Alright, so coming into the car, I ended up putting it through that hole that I have right there, and then I have all the wiring here that I still need to do. So this is going to be all connected onto these existing ones right here. Since these are fuse taps that I can also get power from, I'm basically just going to be T-tapping onto that, and then I'll have power to each one. This is going to be really simple, really easy in comparison to trying to find power for each one. So if for whatever reason I need to take off one of these powers from either one of the gauges, then I can go ahead and do it. Pretty easy, pretty simple. It won't take too long. So it's been a minute since I last recorded, so let me give you guys an update. So everything is installed on it, everything is good to go. I'm not going to go into depth with the whole wiring situation just because I already made a video. So I'll have a link down in the description down below if you guys want to go ahead and check out that video. It goes more into detail on how I wired everything up. So I basically just piggybacked off of that. I was going to use zip ties to go ahead and get everything good to go, but it's not really needed. I just kind of tucked everything away. I don't want to have zip ties everywhere just so it won't be difficult to move things around. But this is good to go. Everything's good to go up top, so let me show you guys inside.
It works now?
Thomas, it's been so long since you've been in a video.
But it works now, right?
It works.
Sweet.
All right, so let's go ahead and test this out so you guys can see that it does work. So here it is booting up, so you can see it going through. So it does have the memory function, which is the constant power. So everything is good. I literally copied every single thing based off of the last video. So all the wiring is on the side, like I said, and you have this gauge basically getting all the power off of this gauge. So that way it's the exact same power and I don't have to find different power to this gauge. So then in the future, once I have my third gauge, whether it's a boost gauge, wink wink, or AFR gauge on the top, then I'll be able to go ahead and piggyback off of this one or this one and have the same exact output for voltage and everything else. It's really good information to have and it looks really good, and I'm just excited for it because now on the track I'll be able to know exactly what my temp is, also what my oil pressure and oil temperature is as well. So there you guys have it. We ended up installing that coolant port that is very, very, very important you change out when you have time. Also, we ended up installing a coolant temp sensor so that way I can go ahead and measure how hot my water temp is. These are two important mods for the G35 for me to really be able to understand how hot the car is running, and also not having the coolant port break like this one and not risking, you know, all the coolant or water or whatever I'm running to go ahead and go out of the car. I talked to one of the guys that owns a G35 that goes to Willow Springs as well. He was telling me that usually this is a time off where people tend to not take their cars to the track just because it's so hot. You're going to be putting a lot of wear and tear on the car, and you're also going to be putting a lot of wear and tear on the tires, so you're going to be eating through tires and really putting your car in a lot of stress with the heat. He recommended for me to do it once it hits like the fall season, so I may be doing that. So once the car is ready for track, I may or may not be going in the summer. I definitely will be going in like October-ish or September, just when it's not so hot, just so that way I don't destroy my car. Next phase is going to be very exciting. It is going to be the boost phase. For you guys watching right now, this is a little sneak peek. After the track phase, it's going to be boost phase, so that's what I'm going to be focusing on. I'm really excited for that. That's going to be in the future though. By the end of the year or early start of next year, I will be boosting the G35. So for the people that are watching right now, you got a little sneak peek. I'm really excited for how I'm going to be doing the G35 with the turbo setup. It's going to be really nice to see everything come together. I'm definitely going to take all the right steps to make sure that I do it properly, because the last thing I want is for the car to blow up. So I'm definitely going to make sure I do it right. So that's going to be all for this video. I hope you guys did enjoy it. Leave it a like if you did enjoy it. Subscribe if you're new around here. Plenty of G35 content. I say this every video. I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace out.
Best mod for your G35 right here.